All right, welcome to another episode of the Ridiculously Lame Wrestling Show. I am Robert Lentini, and we're going to be going over the November 15th episode of WWE SmackDown from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Huge developments in the Bloodline tonight. Major cliffhanger with Roman Reigns to end the show. But we'll start with the opening segment. As always, Cody Rhodes comes down to the ring, the undisputed WWE champion. He's pissed off. Even though the crowd's doing the woes, he does the pose for the pyro. He's not in his normal happy mood. He's angry, and rightfully so, because last week on SmackDown, Kevin Owens hit Randy Orton with the pile driver, sent the Viper home in an ambulance, and that move's banned. And Cody Rhodes wants revenge on Kevin Owens. He had something to say tonight. He wanted to call out Kevin Owens right away, but Kevin Owens didn't come down to the ring. He shouted, Kevin Owens, get your ass down here. Didn't happen. Instead, it was SmackDown GM Nick Aldis, and he did this whole thing again where he's like, it's above my pay grade. Kevin Owens hit a banned move. The pile driver's been banned in this company because we don't want this generation to end up in a wheelchair in 20 years. It's kind of like a shot at AEW if you think about it. There's 14 pile drivers every match in AEW, and a Canadian destroyer, and then they just pop right back up. But enough about that. But Aldis was like, it's been banned because we don't want our superstars to get injured, and Kevin Owens did it. And, we have to handle this matter internally. This is like a legal thing. And Rhodes is like, look, if I can't handle my business in the ring, then I'm going to go show up at Kevin Owens' house and beat his ass. Is that what you want, Nick Aldis? And Aldis is all pissed off. He said, look, I know that's not what you want. The ball is in your court, but I am not waiting very long. And that was the end of the promo. So he's just allowing Nick Aldis some time to figure out how to deal with this, but he wants a match against Kevin Owens. And then later in the show, Kevin Owens responds in a car and like a hostage video again. I love these ridiculous videos from Kevin Owens, like he's been banned from WWE permanently and wronged and everything he's done. Owens responds, he rants and raves. He also posted on Twitter that, because during Cody Rhodes' promo, he took a shot at Owens for driving a Lamborghini, and Owens posted on Twitter, I'm getting bullied by a guy who has his own tour bus about my car, which is just a great response. But Owens said he will be in Utah for next week's episode of SmackDown. We're getting a face-to-face with Rhodes and Owens. The update on Randy Orton that he has severe cervical injuries, whatever the hell that means. We'll see when he returns, but I'm guessing it's Rhodes versus Owens at Survivor Series. And then somehow this is going to be a triple threat because we've seen Randy Orton looking at Cody Rhodes' title several times. I don't think that they just did that for no reason. Randy Orton's going to want a shot at the title too, and this would be Kevin Owens' second shot at the title if that's what ends up happening. Cody Rhodes has already beat Owens. He defeated him at Bash in Berlin, but the build to that match is not half as interesting as this one is so far. But this is a very good promo by Cody Rhodes. I love serious Cody Rhodes. And we also got a little nugget of information from the American Nightmare that Randy Orton at WrestleMania 41 said, I'm proud of you, Code Man. And Rhodes said, even though I hate the nickname Code Man, that moment will stick with me for the rest of my life. So he's really looking up to Randy Orton. I just love that little nugget that he wanted to just share, that he has a nickname Code Man. That is a pretty terrible nickname for Rhodes, actually. We get a bunch of Bloodline hallway segments again during this show. They're still trying to find the original Bloodline, that is Sami Zayn, Roman Reigns, and the Usos. They spend the first hour and a half waiting for Roman Reigns to show up, walking around in the hallway. Sami Zayn says, wait, actually, I might know somebody again who wants to do this. He asked L.A. Knight. Knight turned him down. But we finally got another, we did get a reveal of a new Bloodline member, not of the original Bloodline, a new member of the new version of the Bloodline. We got that tonight, but nobody on the OG Bloodline. The tournament to crown the inaugural Women's United States Champion began tonight. It was Bayley versus Candice LeRae, the reigning WWE Women's Speed Champion, and B-Fab. It was actually B-Fab's first televised SmackDown match, and she got her own entrance and everything. She's been in Hit Row. She's been a manager. She was in that failed Lashley Street Profits faction. Now she's just friends with the Street Profits still. But she had a good showing in this match, but ultimately she was the one that got pinned. Bayley rolled her up to pick up the victory. B-Fab hit a few moves. She looked good. She looked like she belonged, but she wasn't going to get this win. Bayley picked up the win to advance in the tournament, and the winner of the winner of these matches will face, I think it's a fatal four-way at Saturday night's main event to crown the inaugural Women's United States Champion. Still don't know if they're going to do a Women's Intercontinental Championship. They should, but they don't really need to, I guess. But if I don't like it, this shouldn't be exclusive to SmackDown. Then this tournament should be taking place on Raw. I'm not sure if that will be the case. We'll see. But this match was pretty decent. Bayley advances. We'll see if she's the inaugural United States Champion. I don't think it's going to be her. I'm rooting for Chelsea Green again. I just want something good to happen for Chelsea Green. She's just overlooked. She's just incredibly talented. But after this match, Chelsea Green and Piper Niven berated B-Fab backstage. Mia Yim showed up with a kendo stick and they ran. So maybe it's Mia Yim and B-Fab in a tag team. Why not? LA Knight had a United States Championship Open Challenge tonight. He came to the ring and the first thing he said was he declined Sami Zayn's offer to be on the OG Bloodlines team at Survivor Series and the Survivor Series War Games match. He has his own things to attend to. He's the United States Champion and issued an open challenge, and Legado del Fantasma answers the call, and I'm like, oh my God, we're doing Santos Escobar again? Nope. Wound up being Berto. Knight during this promo said, I've already beaten you, Escobar, and Berto is staring a hole at me, and he wants to beat me up like he's my daddy. Something ridiculous like that, but the only person who can call me daddy here is Elektra Lopez, who's, their manager, who they weirdly replaced with Zelina Vega for a hot minute when they arrived on the main roster, but now it's back to Elektra Lopez. But this is a great line by LA Knight, and this was a pretty damn good match. Humberto Carrillo, or just Berto he's known as now, can go. So can Angel Garza, or just Angel now he's known as. He can also go. I hate their shirts, whatever. It looks like the claw logo. It just reminds me of the core, that old Wade Barrett thing, the color scheme. It's just, it looks lame. But this is a good match. Obviously, LA Knight won. But yeah, this is a very good match, and I'm glad that LA Knight is not on the OG Bloodlines team at Survivor Series War Games. That would have made no sense whatsoever. After LA Knight defeated Berto to retain his United States Championship, Shinsuke Nakamura returned. I can't remember the last time I've seen Nakamura. I missed him, and he looked completely different. He looked psychotic. He had this crazy robe on, his face is painted, and he just leveled Knight with the Kinshasa, and that was that. So Knight versus Shinsuke Nakamura, why the hell not? Throw that match on the Survivor Series card, I guess. But what they seem to be doing with these mid-card titles for the most part is having them main event shows like this. I mean, tonight was the WWE Women's Championship, but they had the tag team title match tonight. I like the idea of having mid-card titles main event like Raw and SmackDown. It makes them feel special. If you're just going to throw them on the pay-per-view and give them 5 minutes, I think if you give them 20 minutes at the end of Raw and SmackDown, that's more important. But Shinsuke Nakamura versus LA Knight is a weird, I never even considered that rivalry, but why the hell not? They're both veterans. Knight is impressive in the ring. Every time he does that jump up from the second rope to the top rope elbow drop, I think it's going to end in a disaster. But he's pulling it off. I just get nervous watching it. But Knight versus Nakamura, who we'll see when they do. They probably won't have it at Survivor Series, but it should be a fine match. Why not? So Sami Zayn and the Usos finally meet up with Roman Reigns. They enter his locker room, and Sami Zayn's like, all right, I'll be the one to break the bad news. It's not looking good. I can't find anybody. We can't find anyone. We don't have a fifth member. I'm sorry. Call somebody. Make the call. Jey Uso said, make the call. And Roman Reigns is like, eh. And Solo Sikoa's music hits. So they're watching on the TV of the new version of Bloodline. They march down to the ring. Sami Zayn and the Usos and Roman Reigns come down to the ring very slowly. Very, very dramatic. They get on the ring apron. Crowd's going bananas. And a brawl breaks out right when they get into the ring. Solo Sikoa is about to hit Sami Zayn with a Samoan spike, but Roman Reigns makes the save and spears Solo Sikoa and has a cool moment with Sami Zayn in the ring. They're looking at each other, giving each other the head nod. That was a cool moment. The crowd was eating this up. However, Bronson Reed attacked Roman Reigns from behind. He hit him with the tsunami splash. He was hitting tsunami splashes to everyone. Jacob Fatu's delivering moonsaults. Bronson Reed is the 5th member of the new version of the Bloodline. It looks like he's just a part of the group now. I have no idea, but he fit in. He looked great. He looked like a star tonight. I'm yelling about him losing that crown jewel. I sound like an idiot because it looks like they had much bigger plans for him. If he's in the new version of the Bloodline, that's a huge addition to that group. And he looked like $1 million tonight. He just decimated Roman Reigns, and it didn't look like it was out of place because he's been decimating people on Raw. I just wanted him to get that big win at Crown Jewel, but maybe he'll defeat Seth Rollins on Raw this Monday night. And if he's a part of the new version of the Bloodline with Solo Sikoa, that's awesome. That's very, very cool for Bronson Reed. And he fit in. He looked great tonight. And he beat the shit out of Roman Reigns at tsunami splashes. And Jacob Fatu continues to just blow my mind whenever I see him. How easy he hits these springboard moonsaults. He's a gigantic man. He should not be able to do that so easily. It's freakish. But this is a very, very good segment. And I'm damn sure. This makes me believe that they're going to have Seth Rollins be the other member. That Roman Reigns eventually is going to reconnect with Seth Rollins here. But we'll see. Because, it makes too much sense now. Seth Rollins would want to continue to be fighting with Bronson Reed. We'll see what happens on Monday when Rollins and Reed have a singles match. But this segment was awesome. This is peak WWE. Just excellent storytelling, and I enjoyed every second of this. Last week on SmackDown, Tommaso Ciampa hinted at a heel turn. We got more of those hints tonight. Street Profits versus Motor City Machine Guns, Sabin and Shelley defended the titles tonight in a tag team match against Ford and Dawkins. The match didn't last long because Tommaso Ciampa sprinted down to the ring, just started beating the shit out of everyone. It was thrown out. Johnny Gargano runs down to the ring after Ciampa. I was like, what are you doing? Trying to calm him down. The Motor City Machine Guns are looking at him like he's crazy. Ciampa shoves Gargano to the ground. Said, I told you I wanted to be champions. I don't want to talk about this stuff. I want to be champion. I want those titles. So Ciampa's just obsessed with becoming the WWE Tag Team Champions again. Gargano's not at that level. He doesn't understand why Ciampa's being this way. He doesn't understand his new attitude. And so we're hinting at a DIY breakup. I don't know what Johnny Gargano or Ciampa would be as single stars on the main roster at this point, but maybe Triple H has big plans for him. Who knows? But I think they're better off as a tag team and working this out. And I hope Gargano turns heel and they just become a heel tag team, but we'll see. But I was looking forward to Motor City Machine Guns versus Street Profits. We've just got a preview of what that match would be like tonight. Hopefully they get another chance. Street Profits have every right to argue that they deserve another title match, so we'll see where that goes. Nia Jax versus Naomi for the WWE Women's title. I was not all that excited about this match. I thought it was going to be fun, but I wasn't anticipating something great tonight. I was wrong. This match kicked ass. Naomi and Nia Jax delivered in tonight's main event. Back and forth to start it off. Naomi takes control as SmackDown goes to the break. And when SmackDown returns, Jax is in control. The camera cuts backstage. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez attack Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. They had that meeting with Bayley earlier in the night, so they were in attendance. I don't know. Morgan and Rodriguez just challenged for the Women's Tag Team Championships in the main event on Raw. So this still have a rivalry there. Rhea Ripley should be coming back soon. There's a lot going on. I don't know if they're going to they have to have a Women's War Games match, and I'm assuming it's going to be some amalgamation of these superstars here. I don't even know if I said that word right. I'm just going to leave that in. Amalgamation, we'll see. But it should be, it looks like we're getting Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, maybe Rhea Ripley, Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, Bayley. There's plenty of talent to have a Women's War Games match at Survivor Series. But this brawl between Rodriguez, Morgan, and the Women's Tag Team Champions happened backstage during the main event. Naomi's distracted a little bit by this, but Jax can't put her away. Tiffany Stratton gets involved, but still, Naomi keeps kicking out. Bayley runs down to the ring and beats the hell out of Tiffany Stratton gets involved. She attacks Naomi from behind, but the referee didn't see it. Then Bayley runs down to the ring to help Naomi. She attacks Stratton. Then Candice LeRae, who's vying for Nia Jax's attention, she attacks Bayley from behind. Naomi hit a split-legged moonsault, couldn't put her away. She had the rear view on Nia Jax, couldn't put the WWE Women's Champion away. Ultimately, there were just too many distractions, and Nia Jax was able to hit the Samoan drop off the middle turnbuckle and followed it up with the Annihilator for the pinfall victory. She's still the WWE Women's Champion. Great match, much better than I anticipated. And I'll say it again, Nia Jax has been delivering. She's been great since she returned. And this is another very good outing by Jax, and Naomi shined here too. And I'm still waiting for Stratton to cash in. We'll see eventually. I thought that was how the show was going to go off the air, but that was not the case. Camera cuts backstage to Roman Reigns, and he holds up his phone and he says, "Call the wise man," and the crowd goes insane. But we get an operator, and the operator says this number's disconnected. This is an automated message. So Paul Heyman's number isn't he can't contact him anymore. Where is he? Paul Heyman has not been seen since the June 28th episode of SmackDown in Madison Square Garden, where the Bloodline powerbombed him through the announce table because he refused to acknowledge Solo Sikoa as his tribal chief. So we have no idea what Paul Heyman would have to say. Is he just done with Roman Reigns and the Bloodline? He's going to start a new journey on Raw? We'll see. I was expecting Paul Heyman to answer the phone and the last shot to be hello. And then that was going to be the last shot. It says, produced by Paul Levesque and Lee Fitting. But no, it was just ended with the number being disconnected. So Roman Reigns has not spoken to Paul Heyman since WrestleMania. I guess he didn't contact him at all after the attack, if we're led to believe this, or it's just a weird little nugget of information at the end there. So Roman Reigns has not tried to contact Paul Heyman before this moment, even after the Bloodline brutally attacked him. I can't imagine that. So maybe just the past couple of weeks, Paul Heyman disconnected his number. We'll see. I'm looking forward to it. This is just WWE at its finest in the storytelling department. The matches may not always be great, might not always be death-defying stunts every match, but it's just silly storytelling that works for me, soap opera-esque, and it just works. And we'll see what happens with Paul Heyman, but he's going to be returning soon, and that's great. WWE television is always better when Paul Heyman is on it, and I don't want to see him manage Roman Reigns. Maybe reunite for a little bit, but I want to see him start something else. Roman Reigns doesn't need him anymore, but maybe just for this storyline, maybe Paul Heyman says, "Hey, I'll help you out now, but after this, I'm done with the Bloodline." You reunite with CM Punk. I don't really need to see that either. I want to see him with Braun Breaker. I think that's the perfect option. We'll see. We got Jimmy Uso talking to Braun Breaker on Raw. We never got that conversation. Maybe Braun Breaker's the missing link for the OG Bloodline, and Paul Heyman somehow after this is, all right, Roman, I'll work with you this last time, but after this, Braun Breaker's my next Paul Heyman guy, and we're going to Raw. I need to get the hell away from the Bloodline. I doubt that's how this storyline will play out, but Jimmy Uso did want to have a conversation with Braun Breaker. We'll see, but just an interesting ending to this week's episode of SmackDown, a nice cliffhanger to get people talking, and overall just a solid show. And Survivor Series just 2 weeks away, and I'm very excited for it. I mean, how could you not be? The Bloodline versus the old Bloodline War Games match, Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens. There's going to be some kind of crazy stipulation in that, I'm sure. Maybe a lights out match or whatever, an unsanctioned match. We'll see. That seems to be where this is going. But that's it for this episode of the Ridiculously Lame Wrestling Show. Thank you so much for watching, and subscribe if you haven't. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Thanks.